The pace of change, it's just,
Mhm.
well, relentless, isn't it? We're seeing things like artificial intelligence, robotics, moving out of sci-fi and, into our daily lives so quickly.
Absolutely. And it really begs that crucial question. How are we actually preparing the next generation? Are we equipping them to, thrive in this kind of world?
Exactly. And that's the core of what we're looking at today, really. How do we give young people the skills, the mindset to not just cope, but actually shape that future?
Well, to help us explore this, one of you shared a really interesting document, quite detailed, actually. It's the ACS Dum Dum Report 2024-25.
Right. And this report dives into a specific partnership focused on AI and STEAM experiential learning.
Specifically, it's looking at the link up between International STEAM Research, ISR, they're based in the USA, and Auxilium Convent School in Dum Dum, India.
So our mission for this deep dive, essentially, is to understand the principles behind this whole educational approach. And importantly, look at its impact, particularly on fostering female innovators.
Yeah, that's a key part of it. Now, Auxilium Convent School, it's got history, right? Established back in 1960.
It does. But what's really striking is how they're embracing, well, what's called Education 4.0. Very forward-thinking. And this initiative is led by the principal, Sister Aruna Kispota.
Indeed. And the report doesn't just call this collaboration with ISR a program. It uses the phrase profound catalyst for change. So it suggests something quite fundamental is shifting there.
Yeah, that phrase stood out. And the goal is, well, it's ambitious. They want to develop confident, creative, and empowered leaders.
And the how is through immersing these young women in STEAM. That's science, technology, engineering, arts, and maths. That interdisciplinary focus is key.
What I find compelling is how they position the students, not just learners, but active architects of innovation, as the report puts it.
Right. It's not passive learning. It suggests they're really involved in building their own understanding, creating things.
Exactly. It's about fostering this vibrant ecosystem of creativity and innovation. So less rote learning, more exploring, experimenting, maybe even challenging boundaries a bit.
That seems to be the idea. And it goes beyond just the technical side. The framework they use, ISR's framework, aims to develop confident lifelong learners, articulate leaders, and mindful problem solvers.
So it's holistic, teamwork, presenting ideas, managing projects, building that confidence to actually lead.
Definitely. And another point that really jumped out, for me anyway, was this idea of the school creating a sanctuary.
Yes. A space where these girls can really dive into STEAM subjects without, the societal biases that sometimes, unfortunately, push girls away from these fields.
Exactly. It's about creating belonging, encouraging passion, and actively trying to dismantle those gender gaps in STEAM. It's quite proactive.
So it's not just education in the traditional sense. Auxilium Convent School is aiming to inspire a new generation of female visionaries.
And ISR's role is delivering this AI-powered STEAM experiential learning. The report frames their methodology as pioneering.
What does that mean in practice? What makes it pioneering?
Well, it seems to focus heavily on sustainability, inclusivity, and that interdisciplinary piece we mentioned. They're integrating the STEAM fields to build what they call invention literacy and those crucial higher-order thinking skills.
Okay, invention literacy. That's an interesting term. And it's grounded in educational theory too, right? Like Bloom's taxonomy.
Yes. The report mentions Bloom's, which helps structure learning objectives, and also the 4 C's of 21st century skills.
The 4 C's: critical thinking, collaboration, communication, and creativity. Those keep coming up.
They do. And importantly, for the Indian context, ISR's approach is aligned with the National Education Policy, the NEP 2020, and its Structure Foundation, preparatory, middle, secondary stages.
So it fits within the national framework, and the core aim seems to be creating this really inclusive environment where students tackle real-world stuff.
Precisely. Not just abstract problems, real challenges. They're encouraged to research, analyze, collaborate across subjects to find solutions.
And I like this point. The journey to finding a solution is as important as the solution itself. It values the process, the thinking.
That's a fundamental shift, isn't it? Away from just getting the right answer.
It really is. It feels like this partnership is moving way beyond textbooks. It's about nurturing adaptable skills for future jobs, creating these future-ready, mindful problem solvers.
And just to set the scene, this report covers the 2024-25 academic year. It's actually the first year of a planned 5-year journey that kicked off in April 2024.
Okay, so we're looking at the very beginning here, good context, and the overall vision driving it.
The report states it clearly. Ignite minds to develop problem solvers and researchers for a sustainable world. Quite a statement.
It is, and the mission backs that up. Facilitate quality education through inclusive, integrated, and self-determined learning by way of higher-order thinking and invention literacy.
That self-determined learning, they also call it hudagogical. That seems vital. Learners driving their own path.
Which brings us neatly to the need analysis in the report. Why is this kind of learning actually needed right now?
Well, it points straight at the future job market. It's not going to be about just knowing stuff anymore. It'll demand people who are, as you said, hudagogical, self-directed, and really versatile.
Because of all the tech advancements, right? AI, robotics, IoT, VR, AR, 3D printing.
Yeah.
The list goes on.
Exactly. And the report gives examples of how these are already changing industries. AI in legal research, robotic surgery, drone deliveries, even AI composing music. It's happening now.
But there's a flip side too, isn't there? The report mentions potential job displacement due to automation.
It does acknowledge that challenge, and it gives concrete examples of AI's capabilities, high-precision surgery, spotting cancer early, automating finance tasks. Plus, things like driverless cars and 3D-printed buildings are becoming real.
Which just circles back to why those 21st century skills, the 4Cs, are so utterly essential for navigating all this change.
Absolutely. Critical thinking, collaboration, communication, creativity, they're the toolkit for adaptability.
And it's important to stress, ISR's approach isn't just, let's do more coding, or stick kids in front of screens more often.
No, that's a key point the report makes. It values all subjects and pushes for that interdisciplinary approach. It's broader than just tech skills.
They even have their own framework for this, the ISR 7E learning framework. Sounds structured.
It does. Encourage, explore, engage, experience, explain, evaluate, and elate. It seems designed to guide students through exploring problems, doing research, analyzing, and collaborating on solutions.
And again, reinforcing that idea we mentioned, the process of finding the solution is as valuable as the solution itself. It's about building that continuous learning muscle.
Right. And the interdisciplinary aspect is crucial for tackling complex problems. The report uses the example of a sustainable energy project.
Ah, yes, that needs physics, engineering, environmental science.
And maybe even artistic design for appeal and maths for modeling efficiency. They all have to work together. You can't just stay in one silo.
Which ties in perfectly with India's National Education Policy 2020, right? Its big push for experiential learning.
Exactly. NEP 2020 really champions moving beyond theory towards practical knowledge, real-world skills. It wants a more holistic, multidimensional education.
So less rote memorization, more interactive stuff like simulations, role plays, collaborative projects.
Yes. And this isn't just an Indian trend. Globally, there's growing recognition that experiential learning is vital for bridging that gap between classroom theory and real-world application, making learning stick, basically.
So how does ISR put this into action at Auxilium? The report mentions some initial steps.
Yeah, even before setting up the lab, they ran a workshop for teachers and parents back in September 2023, getting everyone on board from the start.
And then there's a Da Vinci Innovation Camp for the teachers, parents, and sisters, too. Sounds like they really wanted everyone to experience this approach firsthand.
It seems so, laying the groundwork. The overall goal, remember, is equipping students with these skills over 5 years through dynamic, hands-on STEAM. And it's also about sharpening metacognitive skills.
Thinking about their thinking. Becoming more aware of how they learn.
Exactly. And fostering a constructive mindset. This links to constructivism, where the teacher shifts from instructor to guide.
Right. Students actively construct knowledge through experience rather than just receiving it.
And the place where this happens is the Happy Zone, ISR's dedicated STEAM lab at the school.
Love the name. It sounds like a fun place to learn.
It's described as vibrant, set up for hands-on work, prototype creation. Key features are collaboration, open-ended exploration, so freedom to try things, maybe fail, learn from it, and that interdisciplinary integration again.
And there's evidence backing this up, right? Studies showing hands-on learning boosts performance in real-life problem solving.
The report mentions that, yes. And it also highlights the flexibility ISR offers, allowing learning paths to adapt to individual talents and interests. More engagement that way.
So it's a real shift. Value in the process, promoting invention literacy through collaboration. It's not just about ticking off curriculum points.
And the intended outcomes reflect that. It's not just about future-proofing for jobs. It's about developing lifelong learners, mindful problem solvers, and, importantly, good citizens. A broader view of education.
Okay, so how did the first year, 2024-25, actually go? How was that 7E framework implemented?
Well, the report details how each stage was rolled out, encouraged to spark curiosity, explore for foundational concepts, engage for teamwork, experience for the hands-on bit, explain for articulating understanding, evaluate for assessment, and elate for that sense of achievement.
And the response?
Overwhelmingly positive feedback from the learners at each stage, according to the report.
And they used an ISR outcome framework to analyze the impact. What did that look at?
A whole range of things: creativity, communication, critical thinking, curiosity, but also compassion, commitment, cultural awareness, research skills, resilience, relevance to the real world, respect, a mindful approach, aiming for those meaningful problem solvers.
Wow, that's comprehensive. And the results were positive across these.
The report indicates a positive trend in learner responses across these dimensions, yes.
Quality control seems important here too. How does ISR ensure the standard is high?
Through meticulously crafted modules aligned with NEP 2020 delivered by trained facilitators. And crucially, these facilitators get continuous weekly training and periodic audits from ISR experts.
And having 5-6 facilitators per lab, that helps ensure support and minimize disruption, I imagine.
It certainly suggests a commitment to adequate staffing. ISR also encourages facilitators to get involved beyond the lab, building connections, and maintains open communication with the principal.
The report also made a point about the scarcity of trained STEAM facilitators in India generally.
Yes, it highlighted a real gap. Few institutions are equipped to train them properly, which positions ISR as quite important in actually doing that training, building that pool of expertise from diverse backgrounds.
So let's get into the classroom delivery. How does it work day to day?
It's rooted in experiential learning, reflection on doing. Very NEP 2020. Lots of inquiry, research-based hands-on activities. The 7E framework helps create a safe space, overcoming fear of failure, encouraging questions.
Lots of group work, applying knowledge across subjects.
Definitely. It's a constructivist model, connecting learning to real life. Students get freedom to explore, discover, choose, tackle challenges. The aim is better cognitive skills, more versatile thinking.
And the report clearly states this adds value on top of the regular school curriculum.
Yes, it's seen as complementary and enriching.
Okay, let's talk numbers. What were the key performance indicators for this first year?
Pretty substantial. Over 1,100 students, grades 1 to 8, those 5-6 facilitators. They delivered 35 hands-on activities each for the foundation, preparatory, and middle stages.
And the other programs? Hootenar, papers.
7 Hootenar sessions with 41 participants, all certified, and 7 research papers published involving those same 41 students. So quite a bit of activity beyond the core sessions.
The report also lists the kits they used. Gives a real feel for the hands-on element.
Yeah, things like educational drones, robotics kits like the Cube Kit and Muse Kit, humanoids, AR cubes, microcontroller kits like BBC Microbit and ISR Microbot. Lots of different tools depending on the age group.
And there's a visual gallery of these too.
Yeah.
Let's picture it.
Yes. And then there's the learner review section, direct student feedback.
What kinds of activities were delivered across the modules? Robotics, AI.
Yes, robotics, entrepreneurship, engineering concepts, assistive technologies, artificial intelligence integrated across those foundation, preparatory, and middle stages.
And the assessment results. You mentioned positive trends earlier.
The continuous assessment grades for 2024-25 showed a large majority achieving A+ across all 3 stages.
That's impressive. How exactly do they assess, though? It's not just tests, right?
No, it's very holistic. Daily formative assessment using their ISR CRM outcome framework and software called XP360. They look at research journals, give feedback, check skill application, problem solving, collaboration, creativity.
So using rubrics, checklists, peer and self-assessment, facilitator observations, a whole mix.
Exactly. The focus is much more on assessing those critical thinking, collaboration, and innovation skills in action, not just knowledge recall.
What about the benefits for the school itself? This partnership seems quite advantageous.
Profoundly so, according to the report. It positions Auxilium Convent as a leader in innovative learning. They get access to ISR's top-tier expertise and those cutting-edge modules, AI, robotics, applied coding, IoT, AR, drones, 3D printing.
All guarded by trained facilitators. That must enhance the learning experience significantly.
Absolutely. Plus, global exposure opportunities, a boost to the school's reputation, supportive infrastructure from ISR. It seems to inspire the whole community. And feedback from stakeholders was overwhelmingly positive.
Now, ISR offers more than just this core program, right? You mentioned a portfolio.
Yes, quite a range. The AI-powered STEAM experiential learning we've focused on, DaVinci Innovation Camp, Musevention for invention literacy, DaVinci Soccerbot Championship, Hudinar, Papers, FLY, Future Leader in You, and LifeXP.
And Auxilium has already implemented several of these in year one.
They have the core AI STEAM program, LifeXP, Hudinar, Papers, the initial workshops, and the Da Vinci Innovation Camp. Musevention is apparently planned for 2025-26.
Let's touch on Hudinar again. 41 students, grade 6-12, 7 sessions. What's the focus there?
It aligns with NEP 2020, aiming to foster critical thinking and global presentation skills. The session topics mentioned, like Take a Break or The Art of Conversation, suggest a focus on broader life skills, too. Students make video presentations, some get showcased internationally.
Giving them real global visibility and certificates for participation.
Right. It enhances the school's global profile, too.
And ISR papers flows from Hudinar.
Yes, the same 41 students took ideas discussed in Hudinar and developed them into 7 collaborative research papers. They go through a review process, get published, gain global visibility. Great experience in research and writing.
What about the Da Vinci Innovation Camp? That was more for the educators.
Correct. That was back in September 2023. 50 teachers, 4 sisters, a 4.5-hour intensive session on experiential interdisciplinary STEAM integration, equipping them to use these methods in their own teaching. Lots of hands-on prototyping, peer review, reflection.
And ISR Life XP. That sounds like the big showcase event.
It really does. Part of the school's annual exhibition in November 2024. 65 students from grades 1 to 8 showcased prototypes, AI bots, drones, AR/VR, even an ISS model. Around 600 attendees, principal, guests, parents, alumni.
Yes, the report highlights that. It really reinforced the impact of the STEAM education they're receiving.
The report also mentions ISR's broader network, strategic partnerships.
Yeah, they're ISO certified, won awards. They partner with universities globally and in India, thought leaders, companies like Google, IBM, Adobe, Artec Japan. They're a government knowledge partner, member of the Association for Experiential Education in the U.S., and contribute to 8 UN Sustainable Development Goals. That network must add a lot of credibility and opportunity for partner schools like Auxilium.
Definitely. Media coverage, alignment with NEP recommendations, it all boosts the school's standing.
Okay, let's get to the feedback sections. What did the parents say?
They seemed delighted overall, loved how engaging the STEAM classes were, how enthusiastic their kids were, talking about it at home. They appreciated the facilitators and were really impressed after the Life XP exhibition. The quotes included are very positive.
And the students, what was their take?
Equally enthusiastic. They talked about specific things. They enjoyed scratch coding, making drones with the XP kit, AI quick draw. The common theme was loving the hands-on activities and wishing they had STEAM classes more often. Again, positive quotes provided.
So finally, there's an FAQ section.
Yes, quite comprehensive apparently, tackling various questions about experiential learning and ISR's specific approach. Useful for addressing potential concerns.
Right, so stepping back from the intro, it's clear this Auxilium ISR partnership is a really interesting model. Now let's try and pull out the main takeaways from this whole report.
Absolutely. It's a fascinating case study in practice.
So to kind of summarize the key things we've pulled from this deep dive into the ACS Dum Dum report, we've really seen this innovative partnership take shape between the school and international STEAM research.
Definitely. And the absolute core is that AI-powered STEAM experiential learning, which is importantly aligned quite carefully with India's National Education Policy, NEP 2020.
And we explored that hands-on methodology, especially in the Happy Zone lab.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great learning space.
Yeah, and the emphasis throughout is clearly on developing those crucial 21st century skills. It's a really holistic view of education, going beyond just the academics, It
really is. And hearing the positive feedback directly from the students and the parents, that really brings home the impact this approach seems to be having on the ground.
It does. And honestly, the sheer amount they've managed to implement in just this first year is pretty impressive. You've got Hudinar, ISR papers, the Da Vinci Innovation Camp, Life XP, all running alongside the main program.
It shows a real proactive commitment, doesn't it? Especially towards nurturing these future-ready female innovators, which was a stated goal.
Absolutely. Which I suppose leaves us with a pretty big question to ponder, doesn't it? If this model is showing success in Dum Dum, what could that mean more broadly?
Right. What are the implications for education systems, maybe worldwide, trying to prepare students for this, well, complex, tech-heavy future.
Exactly. How could these principles, experiential learning, interdisciplinary approaches be adapted? How can we use them in different places, different contexts, to really foster a generation of mindful problem solvers and ethical leaders?
Definitely something for all of us to think about long after this conversation ends. A really interesting case study to consider.